Welcome back to my channel for a short Fuji episode, and in this video I will consider the Fuji Handgrip for my Fuji X-T5, which is this beauty here, and I will compare it with the SmallRig L-Bracket for the Fuji X-T5. And why is that important? Because a lot of people think that if you have that camera, it's compact, it's nice, but the grip is a little bit shallow, and maybe you want to have an enhancement of that, and maybe you also want to use that camera for video shooting and have an L-bracket with more functionality on the grip you can mount on this camera body. And if you have missed my comparison between the Fuji X-T5 and the Fuji X-H2, look it up on my channel, it's all there. I will link it down below in the info box. Let's kick off the video. It's not long ago that Fuji brought the X-T5 to market, and it's already a superstar among Fuji X shooters. It's an APS-C sensor, but 40 megapixel is almost the same technology built in as on the flagship, the Fuji X-H2. And based on design, these control elements, these control wheels, the compactness, but also the beauty of the camera, look at that. A lot of Fuji X shooters prefer this camera above the Fuji X-H2. And clearly, if you look at the grip here, this is not a lot of space you have for your fingers here, and that's why Fuji, natively made by Fuji, provides the X-T5 hand grip, MHG X-T5. I'm going to mount this now, we'll show you how this looks like and if you really have a gain from this hand grip. And then I want to compare this with the SmallRig L-Bracket, which is this one here, and that has of course much more functionality embedded. It's also significantly cheaper, and it's up to you then to decide what is for you. Is it the one from SmallRig, or do you prefer the pure hand grip from native Fuji and then have a little bit of an enhancement on the grip you have on that beautiful camera? Of course, if you mount an L-Bracket or if you mount a hand grip, the compactness factor is suffering a little bit, but it might bring you a better way to handhold the camera and shoot it, in particular for longer exposure times, widest open. If you have a wider open lens mounted like this one here, that's a 23mm widest open f1.4, and that's why I think it's a useful comparison to do, and hopefully you will appreciate that and come to your own conclusions in the course of the video. In terms of price tag, it of course depends where you purchase these accessories and in which currency, but the Fujifilm X-T5 hand grip, MHG X-T5, is about $120, give or take, as I said, depending on location and currency. And the L-Bracket from SmallRig is about $70. So you have about $50, which is the difference here. And the original Fuji equipment is more expensive by these $50. Let's have a look at the original Fuji X-T5 hand grip first. Let's open this up. I've not opened this before, so everything you see here is originally the first time. Let's look inside. There is some plastic protection material here. And then that's the hand grip. All right, that's it. I'm going to mount it. We look at the features, and I will also quickly test the look and feel if this hand grip is really helping me to prevent even better by mounting it on the camera body that the camera accidentally slips out of my hands. By the way, there was nothing else in the box, and this clearly needs a coin to get screwed firmly on the camera body. So what are we doing in a cash-free world if there are no longer the good old coins available like these 20 Rappen here from the Swiss currency system? So let's take the camera and let's mount this. And the way to do this, of course, is like this. And then we take the good old Swiss coin and just screw it on the camera body. That's it. Let's make sure it sits firmly. Here we go. And that's how it looks like. I think that's okay. It's not making the camera seriously more thicker or ugly or no longer as compact as it used to be before. And you see here how it enhances the hand grip. So here's end of story with the native camera body hand grip, and this enhances it by, let's say, give or take 1 centimeter. And it really is much better in hand now. Look at that. My fingers have much more space here, and this will clearly help me to prevent that the camera is accidentally slipping out of my hands. So far so good. I like it. I think this is a good enhancement. If you look at it from the front side, you see it's not taking away the charming character of a very compact camera body. You have here the bottom plate which protects it if you put the camera somewhere on the floor, and of course this plate here, if you look here, is also Arca Swiss compatible for Arca Swiss quick release system. So that is also quite useful. You don't need to screw on a bottom plate any longer, but you still have here a tripod socket. And you also have immediate access to the battery compartment, and that is also nice, of course. So you get immediately your hands on the battery if you need to exchange it, because there is a spare out here. So all in, I like this hand grip. I think it helps a lot for your handhold shooting, and it has functionality built in, which most shooters will appreciate: Arca-Swiss compatibility, easy access to the battery compartment, and overall it doesn't ruin the charming character of this compact, beautiful camera body. Let's now quickly remove this again and let's have a look at the SmallRig. Here we go. So let's get the camera a bit aside. Let's see where we can open this. So here we need a tool, which I have here. All right, and let's open this here. Let's have a look what's inside. So this is larger, of course, and there are also accessories and tools inside here. So let's see. First of all, we have the SmallRig, the L-Bracket here. Before we mount it, let's have a look at this first. So for this one here, you don't need a coin. There is a tool included, which is magnetic, and it snaps on to the L-Bracket, and it also sits firmly. And then you can here screw, and you don't need the old school 20 Rappen Swiss coin. The second point to note is we have here at the bottom, if you are in landscape mode, also an Arca-Swiss compatible plate. So that's very good and very convenient for quick releasing the camera body from the tripod. And you also have it in portrait orientation here. So this one here is also Arca-Swiss compatible. So that gives you already some more flex than what you have here on the Fuji X-T5. That wooden design here is blackwood and looks actually quite posh, I think. I think it looks really good. Also the feeling here, if you have your hands and fingers on that, is really good. I like the design a lot. You have here the SmallRig engraving. And what else do we have? We also have here a QD mount, and that can be important if you want to mount additional accessories. It's also quite convenient to have that here. And we have all in here different sizes on tripod sockets. So depending on what tripod you're using, you will never be in a situation where you have not the right tripod socket here, because you have both standard sizes here. And all in, it looks quite nice. I'm going to mount this now, and then we'll see another feature or function which is embedded in that SmallRig L-Bracket. All right, let's mount that L-Bracket now to the camera body, and let's see how this fits. So I think that looks already good. We get the tool here, which is magnetically clipped onto that L-Bracket, and just screw it on firmly. That's it. Let's store the tool again at the bottom of the L-Bracket, and that is it. Looks quite nice. Of course, it makes the camera body a bit bigger than the Fuji original hand grip, because you have now here the L-Bracket form. So you have here some part, and you have here the bottom plate. As I said, this one here is Arca-Swiss compatible for mounting this on a tripod for portrait orientation. This one here is Arca-Swiss compatible for having it in landscape orientation mounted on a tripod, and so on. And you see here's also still space. If you want to use a shoulder strap, that will still work, because you have still this carve out here. In terms of holding the camera, this is in the same way as convenient and gives you about 1 centimeter extension here of the hand grip. And my fingers have a lot of space. I think this is much better than the camera body hand grip, and I really recommend doing this. It will not slip out of your hands, and the look and feel of that blackwood design is also beautiful. So I like that a lot. If you look at the L-Bracket from the side, we also have here sockets for screwing on additional accessories, and that is quite flexible, of course, and that also you don't get on a pure hand grip like you have it originally from Fuji here. And I think we covered everything at the bottom of the L-Bracket already. The only thing I might want to mention in addition to the QD socket here for additional accessory is that this Arca-Swiss compatible plate also works with DJI gimbals, and that is of course convenient for video shooting. So that's almost all on functionality, but there is one more thing to come, and that is this screw here. And that screw comes in if you have difficulties working with your ports here. So this one here, you can still open. Let me try to do this. And you see you have access here to the ports. For the upper one here, this is getting really difficult. And if you want to have that easier, take this flathead screwdriver, loose the screw here, take this out. It's actually an extension of up to 23 millimeter, and screw it on firmly again. And now you have all the space you need for these compartments here and doors. So we can open this. We might also use some additional accessory to get our cables tidy, and then this looks like this. So there is a lot of flexibility on that L-bracket from SmallRigs, and I think the functionality here, of course, obviously, is much more than what you get on the standard pure hand grip from Fuji. And this one here is about $50 cheaper than this one here. Now, there were some additional accessories in the box from SmallRigs, and the first one is this here, which is quite interesting. That is for your shutter release button. Let's open this up and let's mount this. And since we have here a retro design camera, there is here actually a socket where you can mount a cable release remote shutter. And that is quite convenient. People who are Leica M shooters know this from rangefinder cameras. And SmallRigs here offers that additional accessory, which you can screw in here. And then you have a better look and feel of your shutter release button, and also a better haptic, I think. Look at that. This is really convenient for your pointing finger here. And by the way, looks quite nice on that camera body. You know, some purists will say this ruins the chrome finish of the camera, and then you can unscrew it again. You don't have to use it. No need to do this, but if you like it, have it on and the haptic will improve. And it also gives a little bit of color flavor on this otherwise black and chrome finish camera body here. And then the last accessory is just the standard tool which was included. There are some screws here, for instance here, where you can use this to tighten them up if you want. And that's basically it. So what is my conclusion? First of all, clearly the SmallRig L-bracket makes the camera body a little less compact, but it has a beautiful black wool design, has a lot of functionality included, which you can use for mounting additional accessories. You have on both sides portrait orientation and landscape orientation Arca Swiss compatibility. You also can mount this on different sizes for tripod mounts in the sockets. And of course, you also have access to all the ports. If you are a purist and you don't like that your camera body gets extended here by that L-bracket on the side plate, then you might want to go for this one here. If you just want an extension of your hand grip and you want to have better control for handhold shooting and want to avoid that the camera accidentally slips out of your hands. But it is more expensive, has less functionality, but in landscape orientation, also the Arca Swiss compatibility. So the decision is up to you. What do you like? Let me know in the comments. If you liked that video, don't forget to drop me a thumbs up. Stay tuned on my channel. There's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And of course, peace out.